Hey, this is Nathan. Today I wanted to talk about slowing down and not meeting my own expectations and sort of dealing with uh, being a little disappointed. Um, so this semester I feel like I really slowed down and I'm pretty bummed about that. And sort of just dealing with the idea that it's not it's not always going to be like upbeat and exciting and like I posted a lot of videos. It's like, here's what I'm getting done and I'm crushing it and I'm so happy about that. And like this semester has really just been way more about like just showing up has been as much as I could do. And that's been really difficult because I've basically come to the end of a 3 month stint where I didn't pass any extra tests. And all I really was able to do is get my classes done. And that has sucked, to be totally frank. So over this 3 month period, where I would expect to have earned 20 or 25 credits, I've earned six, and that is really frustrating. Just this massive slowdown. It felt like I hit a wall, and so now I'm dealing with like, what's it gonna look like? Can I still get this thing done in a year? Like how much do I have to accelerate? What do I have to put towards that? And what's that gonna take? So a couple of things happened. It's just my classes were so much harder than I thought they were going to be for two reasons really. So like I took two classes. One was a math class, and that was so much harder because the amount of content within the class was just too much to keep up with. Like I was keeping up with it for the first couple of weeks, and but I was putting in hours and hours and hours in order to be able to get that done, and like I just couldn't keep up that pace because I was neglecting other things. So if I didn't have to work, like it might be possible, but like I work full time. I work more than full time, so it just doesn't. It's not something that makes any sense. Um, and I really like math, but I just couldn't keep up with how much material we covered in such a short time with everything else I was doing. And so I got a math tutor, and that was really awesome for a little while. And it's been awesome the entire time. I really appreciated my math tutor, and it's been great. But the reality is, like, I haven't been able to keep up completely comprehending all of the concepts that have been introduced. So, like, the class just passed me as far as me being able to keep up understanding everything we were trying to tackle. Just too many new things. And so I'm going to pass the class. I'm going to get a really low grade, but I'm going to get a passing grade. And I know that's all that counts because when it comes to this, like, for classes that are not specifically in my D program, in my degree program, like it's literally like D's for degrees, man. And so the anything within the degree program that's required, I have to get like a C or above. And I have to get over a 2.0 GPA to graduate, period. So like I want to get higher grades. That being said, like I have a pretty solid base GPA because when you get a passing grade on a CLEP or a DSST, at least at Thomas Edison, like they just were marked as like complete. So I technically have like a high GPA on those things because you just get perfect because it's just a pass fail. So and like for most of my other courses that I've taken, I've gotten A's or B's on my grades. So like I have a pretty high GPA. So this one thing isn't going to do anything to me, but I'm definitely going to pass with a really low grade in my college algebra. It's a bummer to me, but I just don't have time to appropriately learn all the concepts. It's not that it was honestly even that hard, just too much information in too short a time. So that's all. For me, if we had covered about 60% of the content that was covered in the course, I think I could have done it. I still would have needed a math tutor, but like I could walk away and be like, oh yeah, I could probably teach someone a lot of this stuff. But right now, like I barely understand past 20 or 30% of it. And I would say maybe 60% percent total is what I'll take away from the whole course. Feels bad, man, but it's like, that's all you can do. My marketing class on the flip side was exactly the opposite. It was, is a 400 level course, and the material was things that I understood is the kind way to say it. And the tasks for the class were things that were easy for me to deal with. So I don't want to be too harsh about the whole situation. Like I understand the ideology of it all, and so I'm not gonna throw down on it, but I am gonna throw down on my professor a little bit because that was maybe one of the most just infuriating experiences that I've had. Like I've dealt with, I did consulting, right? I did consulting for small businesses for like 5 years, and I've had clients that made me really upset, like clients that are impossible to please and clients that like I wanted to pull my hair out, and like this professor is the worst one I've ever dealt with. It's just awful. So along those lines, I was complaining to my wife about how just terrible my professor was and how he was making the class so miserable and making it take so much more time than it really needed to. And she was like, did you check, your professors on ratemyprofessors.com? And I was like, what? What's that? And she's like, yeah, there's a website where you can get student feedback about your professors and you can see what other students have said about those professors. So I went onto the website and I looked at the feedback for my marketing professor, and it is exactly all the things that I was super frustrated about. So I wish I had known about that, and I wish that I had seen the reviews, because he's really poorly rated for all of the exact same things that I'm struggling with throughout the class. So, yeah, I also left my review that just rated him very poorly. 10 of 10, pulled my hair out, avoid at all costs. So just brutal to work with. To be honest, I think that it's a little bit more difficult because I know a lot about the material I'm working with. And so a lot of the questions or things that I need to do, like projects, don't make any sense to me, because I'm like, no, this isn't what you would actually do like in a real life scenario. And so I don't understand why we're doing this. Or some of the instructions are like, oh, do this thing for this. And I'm like, those don't go together. So it's hard for me to understand like why I'm doing that, and it makes it really hard for me to understand how the things go together. And so it makes the task, which is probably a relatively simple task, seem really hard in my head, because I'm trying really hard to figure out how to put two things that don't make sense that go together to me together in a way like maybe I missed something, or maybe I should know something I don't. And the reality is most of the time just it's college, and they do their curriculum, and the book that I'm using is digital marketing, and it was written in 2011, and like it's antiquated. It's it's information that's 90% irrelevant. So anyway, so those have been really hard, and they've taken up 5 or 6 times the amount of time that they should have taken up. So what can I sort of walk away from that with? Well, the reality is I still want to hit my timeline, and I'm going to push towards that. And so what am I going to do to deal with this wall that I've hit and just feeling awful? And the answer is, I passed my sociology club about 8 days ago, and I'm going to go at my next one hard. My next one is public speaking, and that one I actually think probably I'm going to schedule it for the beginning of next week, because you can take it as a DSST or you can take it on study.com. But I discovered that in the DSST, you have to write a short speech and you have to deliver that speech. and submit that. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. Is there a way that I can get past that? Like, that just seems so annoying. And the amount of time they give you is like 10 minutes. And I was like, I could probably get it done and it's fine. But I always end up bloating all that stuff anyway. Just like, I'm running a 10-minute video now already, and it's going to end up being 15 minutes long and whatever. But so I struggle a little bit with that because like I want to give really solid content, but or my brain just goes crazy. So I was like, I'm just going to do the study.com way. And I thought all I had to do was pass all the tests. But then I looked at the end, and then study.com says that you have to also submit like a 10-minute speech. And I was like, man, this is super annoying. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm just going to do it the DSST way. So I'm just going to schedule my DSST next week. And I think I can probably pass it. I can almost definitely pass all the questions anyway. So there's that. So that'll be 2 new exams in a few weeks. Hopefully I'll pass the next DSST. Fingers crossed for that. And I took super easy classes. Like, checked on ratemyprofessors.com whether the teachers were good, and picked incredibly easy 100 level courses for my next semester. So I took 2 of those, and it'll be fine. And just gonna try to really go hard at completing my PLA stuff, which I still don't have done, and getting a couple more tests knocked out, and just really focusing on driving hard for a lot of credits this coming semester. That's pretty much it. It's just show up, right? Just show up. You gotta just keep showing up. It's the toughest thing, but it's what has to be done. So that's gonna be how I'm gonna deal with that. I'm just gonna keep showing up. Speaking of, I've now shown up for this video, and I need to go show back up for work. So that's that. Thanks.